So in previous videos where I talked about the Genshin Boycott and everything to do with old players kind of revolting against the game, I never thought that I'd be talking about it again. But I'm back here again and we're talking about the Genshin Boycott. And this is less to do with the player side of it because there has been a lot of stuff in the community of people, rallying together to boycott this game. But this time Genshin Impact has actually released a developers discussion which has sparked a flame in the community. So if you don't know, Genshin Impact likes to release these developer discussions where they talk about future updates coming to the game, which can be super helpful for players wanting to know what the future of Genshin looks like. And usually they just discuss quality of life updates. And this discussion is no different. So pretty much in this discussion, they talk about a training guide, which is a new feature coming to Genshin. So they've put a ton of graphics and stuff to help us understand what is actually going on. And they've said, we've become aware that building characters can prove to be quite perplexing for new travelers, as well as those who have just obtained a new character. To this end, we've developed the training guide, which will provide you with character building suggestions that are based on data from recently active players. We hope that it will make your combat and exploration experience much smoother. And pretty much they've left a little screenshot of how this new training guide will work, and I'm pretty sure you can already start to tell the problems with this. But let's just continue and show you how this works. It says you can follow the system's instructions and choose between character level, weapon, artifacts, and character talents, depending on which aspect you'd like to build. And then they pretty much show you that it will show you how to ascend your character and stuff, which, it already does that in some aspects whenever you look at the actual character. And then down here, it says in the weapon and artifact tabs, commonly used weapons and artifact configurations will be recommended to you based on data from recently active players. So pretty much what I've gathered from this is that they're going to be collecting data from, active players, which they do say in here, and they're going to be taking the most common build out of all of these accounts, which again is a massive problem because there are characters that have many different builds and, they can be used for many different things. So suggesting to new players that they can only build this character this way is kind of bad because they're never going to learn that there are all these different builds for one character. And also the system could just entirely fail and recommend them a really bad artifact set or, a really bad weapon to use. Because as you know, in the Genshin community, there is a lot of controversy over, what set works well with what character, and some people will use one weapon and say actually no, that's wrong, and it just gets super confusing. And I don't really see how some Genshin Impact implementation is gonna fix this because everyone uses their characters very differently. And yeah, they've pretty much said they're gonna be adding it to the menu, which is like a separate button saying training guide, and it's supposed to really help new travelers deciding on a build and a weapon. But as I said earlier, you can already tell the problems with that. There are many creators, including myself, who create build guides on the game, and obviously some of them do super well, and with this new feature, you're just kind of taking that away from the creators. I mean, yes, even when this update comes out, I'm pretty sure not everyone's going to be using this training guide, and that only really new players will use it, and the already existing players will still follow guides from their favorite creators. But pretty much for all the new players coming to Genshin Impact, they're not going to be interacting with the creators as much, which is where a ton of the views come from, which is new players. I mean, if you think back to whenever you first played Genshin and wanted to build a character, what did you do? You went either on Google or YouTube and searched, this character build, and then you had some creator pop up, whether that be Ziox or Sevi or any other range of creators that create build guide content. But now with this new feature, it's just going to stop new players from, searching these things up online and just doing it within Genshin, which, as I've been saying, this is not good at all for the creators because you're losing out on views, which loses out on money, and honestly, this isn't very creator friendly at all. But let's just continue down this page. So pretty much further down, it's showing you that it can help you with talents and materials for talents too, which is, super helpful too. But I don't really know if the feature will include any kind of talent rankings because, as you know, some talents are more important for a character than others, which again is featured in many creator build guides. And now this just brings me onto my point of the entire Genshin boycott situation. As you may know, many people have been boycotting Genshin Impact lately because of the really bad Lantern Rite rewards, and there's just a ton of people fed up with, how Genshin is treating their players, which is honestly fair enough. So they've stopped playing the game or, stopped spending money on the game at least, which has actually prompted a pretty big effect on Genshin Impact. As you may have seen, the sales for Zhanyan, one of the new characters that came out, was a lot lower than usual. I mean, it still wasn't super high, but, it did make somewhat of an effect, which maybe Hoyoverse have seen. But you may be wondering, why are people so annoyed with this update? I mean, this seems like a pretty good update, apart from it taking away from creators. And well, it's the fact that the quality of life update here isn't aimed at existing players, which, they should be aiming at, as they have angered them a lot, and, you should really be pandering to your players that have spent a lot of time and money on the game. But instead, they've just focused everything on new players, which, it does make sense to focus on new players players. I'm not saying that, you know, getting new players isn't important, but we can all agree here that Genshin is past its peak from COVID whenever tons of people start playing the game, and their game plan should really be to, you know, keep existing players. And pretty much what this update is saying is that we want new players and that we don't really care about existing players anymore because, you know, they whine too much and that they're very negative and everything. So new players that don't really know what's going on and can kind of experience the game firsthand won't really know, you know, the problems with the game because they haven't really played any of the previous updates whenever they first came out. So yeah, obviously people aren't happy with this update at all, and it's really lit a spark in the Genshin community. People are posting about this on Twitter and everything, and pretty much this has just angered the existing community because there are many other quality of life updates which, you know, existing players want, but this is what we've got. Something for new players and not the existing ones that, you know, really need this quality of life update. So yeah, this update has really added fuel to the fire for the Genshin boycott, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more players boycotting the game now ever since this update, because it seems like Genshin don't really care about their existing players at the moment, and that they're trying to target new players that won't really know, you know, what's going on. And you can call us pessimistic for this, but, you know, it's the truth. We could have had a really good quality of life update that can, you know, impact everyone, and new players as well, but in this, they've decided just to target new players, and at the same time, kind of put build guide creators out of a job. And no, I don't think build guide creators will be put out of a job completely, but they probably will see a dip in growth and viewership. Because let's be real here, people are lazy. And if you're a new player, you probably won't know much either. So instead of previously looking up a build guide, you'll just be like, oh yeah, there's a training guide here, it will show me how to do it, and, you know, you'll be done. And yeah, once you learn more about the game and get a higher level and everything, you will start to experiment with, you know, creator builds and everything. But for that early game bit, Hoyoverse has just taken away a ton of views and just money from creators for that. And although I personally do make a few build guides, I don't make near as many as, you know, dedicated build guide creators. So I can't imagine how much of an impact it has on their channel and how much this could really affect them. So yeah, all in all, it seems like Genshin's released another, you know, not so great update, which fans are not happy about. I mean, personally, this update isn't terrible, but it really just, you know, goes to show the situation of Genshin and how much they care about their existing players. And I know a lot of people will be happy with this training guide thing and tell me not to complain about this, but, you know, with all the facts that I presented, especially on the creator half, I'm pretty sure anyone can see why this is such a bad update, because it really just takes power away from creators. And that's the main thing I'm annoyed about. So yeah, maybe we will start to see even more boycotts and even more drama going on with Genshin. Who knows, but we'll definitely see in the coming days what people think, because this is still fresh, this is still new. This literally came out today whenever I was recording. And I don't think Genshin are going to turn this around, because it seems like they spent a lot of time on this. And I mean, why would they get rid of this update? It seems like a good update at face value, but in reality, it's not. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And also, I just wanted to quickly mention, I've got my new VTuber model debut coming up on Monday, the 4th of March. So if you guys want to go follow my Twitch and go over there, that'd be really appreciated, because it's going to be a fun time. We're going to be talking about more drama like this. And yeah, it's just going to be so good. And yeah, I really think that my new model is amazing, and I can't wait to show you guys. So yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and that's all I got. That's all. See ya.